You're now tuned in to the Brown Spade. Okay, family. So early this morning, I came across this video with Willie D, Boyce Watkins, and Corey Holcomb. I thought it was a very mature video. I thought it was a video that we can learn from. And for those of you who don't know what was going on within the last few weeks, Corey Holcomb and Boyce Watkins were exchanging words on their personal outlet towards each other. I've heard some of the things that Boyce Watkins was saying, and I also heard some of the things Corey Holcomb was saying. So here it is. You have this comedian versus the economical guy, the guy who talk about money and trying to help build wealth and things of that nature. And you know, things got out of hand. Those guys were going back and forth. And Corey Holcomb, in my opinion, of course, he's going to win the argument. Or should I say, you know, the back and forth, because one, he's a comedian, and he says a lot of things that is very shock value. He says something that'll get your attention and lock you into exactly what he's saying. And so, but I want to commend Willie D for calling both of those guys and publicly apologizing to each other, because they didn't have to do that. They could have got on the phone and they could have just talked like men over the phone, or they could have did it privately. So I thought it was very instrumental to us, especially in our community, because we don't see enough of that, in my opinion. I think that we should, when we're wrong, as adults, both men and women, we need to admit that we're wrong. We need to hold ourselves accountable. When you're on these platforms and you have large subscribers, you're also an influencer. Not saying that everybody that subscribes to you gonna be influenced, but you have their ear. And once when they hear you, most of the time they go to the person who they subscribe to, in most cases. But anyway, the point that I'm making is, it was very, very manly of them to exemplify leadership. That is the true meaning of leadership from Willie D, to get both men who he's a friend of both of them, to bring them together to squash the exchange of words, aka beef, because we don't need that. It's enough of that going on. And to me, that back and forth stuff, that's a young man's sport. So these guys, Willie D, they 50 plus years old. Boyce Watkins is 50 plus years old. Corey Holcomb is about 50. So as mature men, we have to step up to the plate. We have to be the example. Not a negative example. Not a negative example, but a positive example. So I thought this was a great example that we all can live by. We can all use this as a stepping stone or a bridge, whichever choice of words you would like to use. And because as men, we're supposed to be the leaders, and leading by example is the best way to do it. And let that influence others. You see? Because one thing about black people in particular, we don't like to forgive. We like to just, when we're upset with somebody, disagree with somebody, we like to just hate it and wish it death and perish away. And that's not how it is. See, you have to forgive. When you don't forgive, unforgiving leads to resentment. And so that's when your thoughts get flustered because you emotionally attached because you didn't have the power to forgive. So this is exemplified. Me watching this video is exemplified. Two adults that are men, both have large followers, subscribers. They both were man enough to forgive each other. They both were able to talk it out, not take it to the streets and I'm gonna do this to you and shoot you and stab you and all that crazy stuff. So I thought this was a very good, positive video. And so if you haven't pressed the like button, please press that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I want to thank each and every one of the subscribers who have subscribed. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for your subscription. I am very grateful. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me continuing putting out different content. And I just want to say thank you because I'm very grateful. This is a Sunday morning. I'm about to go ahead and make me some pancakes. I hope you enjoy this video.
It kind of broke my heart when you took up like for Boyce in a way, like you said I was talking about his wife, and I was just making fun of the video, of the picture that is on the internet that has been dissected before me. Like when I brought up the picture, I didn't have a one where it was, they had the words on it. I don't know if you saw that, but you called me and you was like, yeah, man, people saying this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh, shit, now Willie D. Okay, so I'm saying, this is what I'm trying to say. I feel like you, in my opinion, Willie, you jumped to Boyce's side instead of, well, what you doing on the phone now, you proving you're not jumping to Boyce's side. But at first I was shocked and hurt because I felt like you was jumping to Boyce's side like, oh, that old goddamn Corey Holcomb, he a bad guy, and he out here doing something else again. But it's not like that, Mr. Watkins. I'm saying, I said on my show, I'm not mad at you. I just took the opportunity after you said what you said to stab at you. But it's not like, oh, fuck that nigga, I hope he died. I got more love for you, Boyce Watkins, than I have for my baby mama. If you see what I'm saying. I don't even know you, Boyce Watkins, but that bitch ain't about shit. But what I'm trying to say, I'm just speaking for real because we all around each other. I can understand why a Boyce Watkins would be shocked at first when he sees me from some of the things I say. But Willie D, you one of the brothers who I expect to carry that bridge over to let people know, yo, man, I know Corey. Corey is not about fuckery. Now, I say some things, and sometimes I make a mistake. I say some things that I regret, but I didn't regret that about my baby mama. She tried to hit me with a car, amongst other things. Amongst other things. She one of them crazy girls. But I'm saying, Willie D, I be counting on you, man, when people bring my name up to be the person to speak on your experience of me when people may have something bad to say about me. That's what I'm trying to say.
Obviously, as with my integrity as a husband, I have to say that I'm fair game, but my family's not, right? You know, my wife didn't do nothing wrong. But for the record, she didn't take it personally. She don't, you know, it's like we know what's true and what's not. You know, so when Willie and you and I talk, we joked about the picture and have people like taking a picture and reading all this shit into it. And you and I both know we would, you know, I wouldn't marry a woman who's doing some shit like that. And you wouldn't even have no parts in that, right? So it's not, I'm not offended by any of it, right? And I will say this too, Corey. Willie wasn't, I don't feel like Willie was taking sides. You know, I feel like it got to, when it got to the point where other people were kind of involved in the conversation that didn't want to be involved, whether it's Willie, my wife, or whoever. it kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, now I'm getting very upset, and I don't want to feel that way, man. Because the bottom line is, I got enemies in this world. As a black man, I got a lot of enemies. Corey Holcomb is not my enemy, and if that means I gotta, apologize for what I said, which if that struck you in a certain way, I am sorry for that. The fact that we're all over the age of 40, so we're supposed to be setting an example of de-escalation and whatnot. I'll go as far as say, like, I want to be cool with you, man. Any friend of Willie's is a friend of mine because you and I both. One thing we have in common is that we've known Willie for years and we know that he's a solid guy. So anybody that he says is solid, it's like hands off. I'm done. You know what I mean? So Willie's involvement, while it definitely spilled things over to a point where I found myself getting upset about it. At the same time, his involvement is beneficial because number one, he brought us together. Number two, it makes me say, okay, you know what? That's he's supposed to be an ally. I'm not even gonna mess with that. So that's why I stand on this.
It's shit that come with it. So what I'm saying to you, I never try to be flat out disrespectful, especially to somebody I don't know. But I was digging at you like that because this is the information that we put out there on the internet. And so I'm saying, like, I know you wise and you gonna understand what I'm saying. Everything we do on this internet gonna get dissected and turned into what it's gonna get turned into. Because anybody with common sense knows that photo that I talked about where Willie D and you and your wife was on the wedding day, it can get dissected in all kind of ways. But me being who I am, I dissected it how I dissected it because I wasn't mad at you. I was really being funny.